Stitch is up for adoption at the Cache Humane Society. Utah State honor students stepped in to help the dogs get adopted through art.
That's Stitch, and he is a great boy.
Organizers say they were excited for the Humane Society and their animals to get some new attention.
I just think a lot of people don't know we're here, so any teaming up with like the university would give us so much more like knowledge for people that we're here.
Cache Humane directors allowed students to interact with the dogs, such as walking them or playing with them. And after they were done here, students came here to the Fine Arts Building, where their assignment was to express the dog's personality artistically, such as these.
Photo prints, paintings, and 3D art are some of the ways that students express the dog's personalities. Professor Gelfand says the goal of the assignment was to change the way we look at dogs.
It was about thinking about how we represent dogs and what that representation means. And then how would you go about representing dogs in a way that would help them get adopted.
Gelfand says she was happy to hear a majority of the dogs represented in the class were adopted, and hopes that the class's future effort will help puppies like this one find their forever home. Nathaniel Gillis, ATV News. While most hikers can't wait for summer, Katie prefers the cold.
I'm not the biggest fan of summer hiking. Like overall, I do like it, but overall I'm not the biggest fan because it's too hot. I like winter hiking just because usually there's not as many people on the trails, and it's just a lot more comfortable for me as an Alaskan just to not be like super hot.
Well, some hikers might say all you need is a light jacket. Experienced hikers say make sure to bring some extra layers. And if you are going on a longer hike, make sure to bring some emergency material, such as an emergency blanket. And if you're also on those long hikes, make sure you bring something that can filter water.
Ice is another common issue to look out for, but Aspen and Whiskey say it adds to the experience.
Going from summer to winter, like it's just like the hikes are completely different. Like there's the snow on the ground, so it makes it a little harder. You can do like the snowshoeing and stuff, and it's completely different. Like a hike like this looks nothing like it does in the summer when it's covered in snow, and I just think that's so cool. And it's not as hot, so that's also better.
Hikers say whether you want to see the wildlife, the beautiful views, or just enjoy nature, Logan Canyon has something for you in sunshine and snow. Nathaniel Gillis, ATV News. Cache Valley locals say the valley is known for its beauty, its hikes, Utah State University, and Logan's historic downtown. Recently, there's been a change to Logan's downtown. Mayor Holly Danes plans to revitalize the downtown area and to create an atmosphere that will be more inviting. Local historians say while it may be exciting to have new buildings, it is also important to look to the past.
So people need to understand that when the pioneers settled in Logan, which wasn't until the late 1850s, this was the land of the Shoshone.
The Shoshone referred to this area as the Valley of the Great Spirit. The tribe would hold healing ceremonies in the valley that would scare the pioneers when they first arrived. Historians say the pioneers calmed down when they realized the Shoshone were performing sacred rituals and ended up making the ritual spot a healing place of their own. Today, the Logan Temple stands where the Shoshone held their healing ceremonies. Pioneers forced the Shoshone out of the valley and made Logan a town, but historians say Logan became a city when the trolley came rolling in.
This is a pass that could get me onto that trolley. Local historian Darren Smith lended me this blank one and this one filled out. This pass could get me from Ogden, Utah to Preston, Idaho, and its rails ran right down Main Street. And one lifelong Loganite says it's a bumpy ride.
That was my first experience of motion sickness. The trolley got the names of the leaping leaner, the galloping goose, or the puddle jumper, because of its swaying back and forth and then bouncing up and down.
David Eccles, along with other businessmen, funded the trolley system, and workers began construction on October 19, 1909. Ted said his trip from Logan to Preston took about 4 hours. The trolley would bring mail or anything else people needed from town to town.
And in one case, they were carrying a corpse in a coffin. And as the train was bouncing around, the lid popped open and the corpse came up a little bit. And my dad turned around and looked at that, and if he'd have had a steering wheel, he'd have probably run right off the road.
Ted says in 1919, there were roughly 16 trains a day going back and forth from Ogden to Preston. But by 1946, it was down to 1 train a day. In December 1946, the city decided to end the railway because buses and cars were more convenient. Ted says the progress in Logan today is exciting, and he is glad to see more jobs in the valley. But he says change can be hard.
When you see that change, you say, well, gee, that's a chapter of my life now that is in oblivion. It's gone.
One of the changes Ted is talking about is the Emporium that recently came falling down.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh my God.
Logan City Mayor says this is all part of a plan to help revitalize downtown Logan.
It finally feels, after so much work, so much planning, again, we've had great cooperation from our city council, that finally there's action, and that's always exciting.
This is the beginning steps to Mayor Dane's promise to revitalize downtown. It has cost over $4 million, and the mayor says every little bit's worth it.
More restaurants, more activity. I mean, that stimulates all businesses. It really is kind of a rising tide floats all boats type mentality.
Logan City Mayor plans to have this dirt pit turned into a splash pad for the summer, live entertainment, and an ice rink that should be open by December of this year. The mayor says she wants to bring cherished memories to the people of Logan.